Hello everybody and welcome to our training module related to the access to CENELEC and IEC technical committee documents, preparing comments on standards and conducting votes. Here you can see the agenda of today's training, where we're going to start with how to access the working platforms of IEC or CENELEC. So the first point will be we're going to show you how to get access to these platforms. And then the second point will be related to how to get access to the specific working platform of your technical committee, so of the technical committee you are registered in. And we will finish with some additional information. The second point will be related to submit of comments on draft standards. So we're going to start with, we're going to show you how to prepare comments on a draft standard. Second point will be related to when is the best moment to submit comments in the standardization process. And we're going to finish as well with some additional information. And the third point will be related to the casting of electronic votes. We're going to start with how to access the electronic balloting portal of IEC or CENELEC. We're going to speak about the email notifications you get, and we're going to show you how to select the vote as well as how to cast the vote on the electronic balloting portal. So let's start with the first point, where we're going to show you how to access the working platforms of IEC or CENELEC. In order to be able to get access to these collaboration platforms, you need to open your internet browser and navigate to the related pages of IEC and CENELEC. You can see the links on the right of the screen, so if you don't have them, you just can use this one. And once you are on the specific websites, you just have to click on the collaboration platform icon, which is the same for CENELEC or IEC. And once you click on these specific links, you are asked to log in. So once you are on the login page, you are requested to enter your credentials. So these credentials are the one you received once you are registered as a national standardization delegate. So you already receive a notification from ILNAS that you are registered, but you also get a notification from IEC or CENELEC with your login credentials. And your login ID generally corresponds to your email address or to a specific login, which is composed of 6 different letters. So it always starts with LU for Luxembourg. It is followed by the 2 first letters of your surname, and it finishes with the 2 first letters of your name. But if you have, for example, forgotten your password, you always have the possibility to reset this one by just clicking on the link "Forgot your password." And if you should still have problems and not be able to log in, you can always contact ILNAS and we will try to help you. Once you are logged in, you can see the following website, where you can also see the IEC and CENELEC logo. And you just have to click on the standardization organization where you are registered in a technical committee. So if you are registered in IEC technical committee, just click on IEC logo. For CENELEC, just click on the CENELEC logo. When you click on the logo, you will see the different technical committees you are registered in, and then you just select a specific technical committee, and then you're going to see the page which is now shown on the slide. So there is the example of TC 215, and you can see there are different folders in this specific committee. The first one which is related to documents, then you have some which is related to discussions, so this is kind of a forum. Then you have sub-workplaces and tasks which are not always used, but you can also, and the last one is related to the members, where you can see the different members which are registered in this specific technical committee. But the most interesting one for you is the first one related to the documents. So you just click on this specific folder, and then you get access to all the working documents of the technical committee you are registered in. But if you should still have questions or want to get additional information on how to use the collaboration platform or on the different possibilities that this platform offers you, you can always consult the IEC Collaboration Platform User Guide. And this document is going to help you and guide you step by step in order to be able to use the new IEC Collaboration Platform. So now we're going to come to the second point on the agenda, which is related to the submitting of comments on draft standards. So during the standardization process, you have the possibility to submit comments at different stages. So there are also several types of comments which may be introduced, but they will not be treated in the same way by the editorial board according to the stage of the draft standards. So you also have different type of technical comments, as I just mentioned. So as you can see on the slide, you have already the general comments, which are comment on an entire section or subsection or the entire standard. These comments will usually be treated first because they have the greatest impact on the document. So if you want to provide general comments, it is important that you provide them at an early stage so that they can be taken into consideration. Then you also have the technical comments, which are specific comments on a particular point, which usually followed by modification proposals. So for technical comments, it's more or less the same as for the general. The earlier you submit them, the easier they can be taken into consideration. And then, last but not least, you have the editorial comments, which are the comments on the form rather than the content. So editorial comments are, for example, the ones where you can find minor bugs in the document, and they can also be taken into consideration at a later stage as they don't concern the content of the document. So now we're going to see how to prepare comments on a draft standard. So first of all, it is important to be noted that the comments have to be submitted in a specific form. So therefore, there is a template which is existing and which has to be used in a mandatory way for each specific comment. So if you don't use it, your comment will not be taken into consideration. I will just provide you the link to this specific document in a few slides. So let's say you have identified several problems in a draft standard. The first point would be that in paragraph 2.3, number 3 is missing from a numbered list. So how should you put this specific comment in the template? So the first information you always have to mention is the national committee, so which is always LU for Luxembourg. Then you have to precise the concerned clause or subclause. So in this context, it is paragraph 2.3. Then you have to mention the number of the paragraph figure or table. So it is number 3, which is the one which is missing. What type of comment is it? So in this case, it is an editorial comment. The comment itself, you just mentioned that number 3 is missing in paragraph 2.3. And the proposed change is to change the numbering. The second point, the second problem you have identified is that in all the standard, it is necessary to distinguish if the product will be used inside or outside. So in this case, national committee, which is the same than before, so it's Luxembourg. In the second column for clause, subclause, you just mentioned, but it's general because it concerns all the documents. For paragraph, figure, table is the same. It's for all of them. The type of comment is a general comment. And the comment is that the distinction between internally and externally is not clear in the road standard. And the proposed change would be to please make the distinction between internal and external in the road standards. The third problem you have identified is that the tolerances defined in chapter 8.1 cannot be guaranteed if the temperature of the product differs from the temperature of the machine. So how should it be put in the template? So once again, LU in the first column. Then the clause, subclause concerned, so it's chapter 8.1. It concerns paragraph 10. And the type of comment is a technical comment. So the geometrical tolerances cannot be guaranteed because of the thermal elongation due to a temperature difference of the product and the machine. And there you always have to mention a proposed change. So the proposal would be to add the product temperature in comparison to the machine temperature needs to be suitable to meet the tolerances. So there you have the different examples for the different type of comments which you can submit. So now as you know how to submit a comment, it is also important to know when you should submit comments in the standardization process. So on the slide you can see a graphic, and on the horizontal axis of this graphic you can see the standardization process. So the 0, 12, 18 and 30 represent the months in the standardization process. So, and in the first part related to the proposal and first draft, the aim is the determination of the content. In the committee draft stage, the objective is more the review of the content, and in the last stage and final vote, the objective is related to the consolidation of the content. So the more you advance in the standardization process, the more the content gets a certain stability, and the less opportunity of change will be present for you. So if you want to influence the document and the technical content of the document of draft standards, it is important for you to intervene in the beginning of the standardization development process. Because, for example, at an FD stage, so which is in the final vote stage, which is between 18 and 30 months, the technical comments will no longer be taken into consideration, because the document and the content are already consolidated, and the aim is not to question the content which has already been validated in the steps before. For editorial comments, this is not a problem, because they can also be taken into consideration at a later stage. So as I have already mentioned before, there's a specific template which have to be used when you want to provide comments on the draft standard. So this document is an Excel file which you can download by using the link we provided on the screen, and it is really important to note and to respect the integrity of the template. So you are not allowed to change the structure of this specific document, because once we upload your comments in the voting process, the comments will be treated automatically by the system, and when the structure of the document has been altered, it is possible that your comments may be rejected by the system. In the third point of the agenda, we're going to speak about the casting of electronic votes. So first of all, we're going to show you how to access the electronic balloting portal of IEC or CENELEC. So you just have to use the same links as we provided already for the collaboration platform. And once you are on the SIT, you don't click on the collaboration platform link, but you select the ones related to the electronic voting. For at CENELEC, it is called electronic voting. And as you can see for IEC, it is mentioned as electronic vote and comment. So just click on the specific links, and then you have to log in, as you also have already shown you before, in order to be able to access to the electronic balloting portal. Another possibility to get access to the specific votes of the technical committees you are registered in is to use the links provided in the email notifications you receive from IEC or CENELEC, depending in the committee you are registered in. So as you can see on the screen, you always have some information about the document, the reference, the title, as well as of the opening and closing date of the ballot. And then you always find a link which will direct you to the concerned vote. And there can also be found a link which will navigate you directly to the concerned vote. When you have been redirected to the balloting portal of IEC or CENELEC, you have already to log in. So in the box which is highlighted in red, you can see if you are already logged in or not, and if a further login is necessary. Once you are logged in, so for IEC, you can already see all the votes which are related to the technical committees you are registered in, and then you just have to click on one of the specific votes in order to get the information about the specific ballot. For CENELEC, you just have to click on Committee Internal Voting in order to be able to see all the ballots where you will be able to take position. And then the process is the same as for IC, so you just click on a specific ballot in order to get further details. When you have selected a specific vote, you will see the following pages. So where you can see different information about the ballot you're interested in. So as for example, your name as well as the country you are representing. You can see the submission as well as the closing date of the ballot. You can see the concerned technical committee, and also a link to the document of the ballot. And then depending on the ballot, you will have different possibilities to take position. For CENELEC, for example, in this specific case, you can see the question, which is, do you approve the circulation of the Secretariat draft to proceed to CENELEC inquiry stage? So in this case, you cannot submit a comment, but you can just answer with yes, no, or abstain. But you can even provide a comment which, if you want to provide further details to your position. For the IEC vote, as you can see, you have the choice between two answers. So you can say, I have no comments at this specific stage. But if you have some, you can see that file attached is selected. So there you have to browse, to click on browse and select the Excel file, so the Excel template where we provided you the link before. And in order to be able to upload this document with your comments, and once you upload the document, you just have to click on submit in order to register your vote on the balloting platform. Thank you for your attention.